Up the pipe!
G'day guys, Nate here, coming at you with a different video of sorts on the channel. Not another preview, not a review, but more of a prediction video for Collingwood in the 2025 season, as well as the 2025 year as well for Collingwood. I've got a few predictions for after the 2025 season and year, which will lead into the 2026 season, so long-term deals for me at least. 20 predictions. One prediction I'll have, which is not included, is I predict my audio and microphone quality to improve on both ends. I was processing the opening round preview video. The audio was a bit iffy the entire time for the entire week. The audio just playing up and deciding not to play games with me. So it interrupted final video. I do apologise for that. Hope to rectify that or redeem myself going forward in future videos. Redeem and redemption were the key buzzwords in the opening round preview video. But in regards to this prediction video, thought I'd have a bit of fun and make a video and then look back on this in about 6+ months' time, see if I'm either Nostradamus or if I'm a fucking moron. Most likely the latter of the predictions. Some of these predictions will be likely straightforward, others more complex. I'll look to explain further in depth on these predictions. Now, for each prediction, I'm going to add a brief line for it with further explanation on it, looking to elaborate further on it, and I'll likely use the audio clips as well as this entire video to review and look back on, hypothetically, and also for the 2025 off-season going into 2026, I'll be able to look back on this, and again, either Nostradamus or I'm a fucking moron. So anyway, here goes. My 20 Collingwood predictions for 2025. I predict either 14 or 56 premiership points. If you remember last year, 52 premiership points for 12 wins, 2 draws, 14 wins for me, no draws, 56 premiership points. And extra prediction, I think will be eliminated in the semi-finals. And I think the media, pundits, overall analysts and fans of the AFL will call Collingwood's semi-final exit an overall fail in regards to our recruits and being all in or chips in for this. I won't see it as a fail myself. I am not predicting a flag. I'm not predicting a grand final. It would be a bonus. I'm going to need to see a little bit more from Collingwood's playing list. Better health, better form as well. But I think another finals appearance will be on the cards. I think might be a little bit of damage, cause a bit of scare for the top 4, but straightforward semi-final elimination. No overachievement, not underachieving. And yeah, that's my first prediction. Second prediction, I predict Collingwood will be top 6 for points 4, but bottom 8, or outside the top 8 in terms of points against, I think we're going to be a roller coaster side as usual. I think we're going to score a lot more, but we're going to concede a lot more as well. So we will not be in Fox Footy's premiership window, top 6 for points 4 and bottom 6 for points against. It's going to be up and down fluctuations again. I predict Nick Dacos is going to win the 2025 Brownlow medal. I'm not too sure if it's going to be tied or outright, but a win's a win. Nick Dacos is going to win the Brownlow medal. Unless there's a major drop in form, if he can't handle a tag or if there's a major injury. I think Nick Dacos, honestly, a safe bet for me at the moment to win the Brownlow medal and also will be selected in the All-Australian side yet again. And speaking of All-Australian, I predict Bobby Hill is going to kick 40+ goals in season 2025 and he's going to make his first All-Australian selection. While we are on the All-Australian selections, I predict Dan Houston will not make the All-Australian team for the 3rd year in a row. I think Dan Houston's going to take a step back in regards to his form, trying to adjust to the Collingwood group and overall playing style. But I do think Dan Houston will be a quality player for Collingwood in season 2025. I predict Patrick Lipinski is going to have a career best year in terms of average disposals and overall disposals, surpassing his 2022 season. I think he'll average just under 25 disposals a game. He won't be an A-grade midfielder or anything like that. But I think he will cement himself on the forward flank or the wing, and then be a stopgap midfielder as well for rotations in 2025. I predict the Triple M forward line of Myercheck, McStay and Membry are going to combine for 80+ goals in 2025. I'll include finals as well for that, so a bit of a broader brush. I predict that Jordan De Goey is going to play less than 20 games this season, which will ultimately impact Collingwood's chances of a premiership push. For Jordan De Goey, he played 21 games in 2023, 21 games in 2018, and 20 games in 2021. His 3 best seasons at Collingwood, or his entire career. I don't think he's going to match those heights, and I think there will be questions and doubts starting to be raised on Jordan De Goey's fitness, his health, his form. I don't think he's going to be trade bait, but I think questions are going to be answered, or questions are going to be asked, not answered, asked on Jordan De Goey's overall career trajectory. I predict 3 debutants, not club debutants, but overall debutants for 2025. I'm not too sure exactly. It's going to be a broad brush on this one, but there are 6 players who haven't played a game yet. Oscar Steen, Harry Dematia, Aliro Schmidt, whatever. Joel Cochran, Charlie West, and Will Hayes. I think 3 of those players will make their debut for Collingwood in 2025. I predict that Jacob Ryan is going to play a full AFL game for the first time in his career. He's stuck on 1 game, plus against Brisbane in 2023. I also think he could be a surprise replacement or surprise inclusion later in the year. Future replacement for Jeremy Howell and possibly McInnes. I'm, again, not too sold on McInnes down back. Jacob Ryan, he's under 190 centimetres, but I do think he forces his way into the senior side in 2025. I'm going to lump these predictions into one, and it's going to be bad news for Collingwood. I predict we're going to lose a combined 5 games to Carlton, Hawthorn, and Essendon. We play Carlton twice, play Hawthorn twice, we play Essendon, Anzac Day. I'm unfortunately predicting we lose all 5 games. Doesn't mean we can knock one of them out of finals, but yeah, I think we sneak in the finals. Good news, but I think bad news, we lose to some rivals along the way. I'm going to separate this one because I predict we finally lose to Adelaide for the first time since 2016. We won 9 in a row against Adelaide. That also doesn't include a draw, but 2017 we drew against Adelaide when we really shouldn't. But ever since start of 2017, we've just had their number. A lot of close wins along the way. They're in our back pocket. We do play Adelaide twice. If it means anything, I've got Carlton, Hawthorn, Brisbane, Freo, Adelaide making finals. We've got double ups against those 5 teams, so it's going to make our path to finals a lot more trickier, especially when I predict 5 teams or 5 double up teams of ours to make finals. I think we beat Adelaide at the MCG, but I think Adelaide beats us on their home deck towards the latter parts of 2025. Now, I'm uploading this right before the game against GWS, but I am going to predict Collingwood wins 3 interstate games in 2025. Broad brush, I don't know what they'll be, but I predict 9 milestone games for Collingwood players. The first one's going to be an obvious one. Jack Crisp, 250th AFL game against GWS. 1 out of 9 already completed. Another 8 along the way. Broad brush, I think there's a total of 16 or 17 players that are eligible, including finals, to get a milestone game this year. I think half of that will get done. Was just mentioning Jack Crisp before. I think I predict Jack Crisp is going to break Jim Stein's all-time record for most consecutive games played, 244. I'm also going to predict Jack Crisp will finally miss a game later in the year after he breaks Jim Stein's all-time record. And speaking of records and all-time records, I'm making a big call. I predict Scott Pendlebury is going to play on for 1 more year. He will sign on and play for 2026, and he will ultimately break Boomer Harvey's all-time VFL AFL games record of 432. I'm predicting 4 retirees in 2025. I'm actually going to name these ones. I think it will be Jeremy Howe, Mason Cox, Tom Mitchell, and Will Hoskin-Elliott. Not a mass exodus. We're not cutting too deep here because I think Pendlebury stays. I also think Still Sidebottom stays. I think Pendles and Sidebottom, they're going to retire at the same time. It's either going to be this year or next year, depending on how we perform. If we are bottom 4, I think there will be big calls to make on our senior players. 3 more predictions, and this is going to lead into the off-season stuff, maybe after the grand final or anything like that. I predict Braden Maynard is going to stay at Collingwood. He's going to end up being a pie for life, and this is probably a few more years down the track. I think Braden Maynard will play 300 games for Collingwood. Second last prediction, I predict Collingwood in the 2025 off-season gets a midfielder in either free agency or the trade period. Whoever this midfielder is that we pick up is going to be the number 2 midfielder behind Nick Dacos, playing for Collingwood going forward. Nick Dacos, as elite as he is, he doesn't have a partner in crime just yet. I don't think Ed Allen's going to be that guy. He's going to be a good midfielder, Ed Allen, but he's not going to be, alongside Nick Dacos for 1 and 2 going forward. Nick Dacos needs company. You look at the star midfield groups throughout the years. Collingwood needs to start building on this alongside Nick Dacos, and I think they get one in free agency or the trade period this year. And the final prediction, and this is going to be in the draft, I predict Tom McGuan is going to get selected by Collingwood in the first round as a father-son pick, and I also predict it's going to lead to further debates and discussions surrounding the father-son picks, academy players, and compromised drafts for Collingwood. Uh, Again, we're going to be looking to build a midfield core alongside Nick Dacos. Tom McGuan's going to be involved as well. Ed Allen, hopefully, as well. But I also think Collingwood's going to get another midfielder in free agency or the trade period. And it also gives Degoe and Chris and Milkinski as chop-out midfielders going forward. So there you have it, my 20 predictions for Collingwood in season 2025, mostly for players, but looking forward to the trajectory of these players in 2025 for good and bad. Hopefully all good. Hopefully I'm proven wrong on some of these for the better for Collingwood. My next video is going to be the review of the opening round clash of Collingwood v GWS. Again, I'm not going to be able to watch it live. Hopefully, we'll be able to get home Sunday night to watch it and then record on the Monday morning, have it up Monday Arvo, Monday night. Hopefully on time. Hopefully people get to watch it. Looking forward to seeing the next one. And I should have a few quick videos in the near future, mostly around potential trade-ins, trade-outs, and maybe some free agency choices as well. And I'll be able to explain further in those videos going forward. But thank you all for watching. Looking forward to seeing how these predictions pan out in the coming months, and I'll see you in the next one. Up the play!